Hello Virgo, welcome to your timeless love variant reading. Please bear in mind a few things before we get started. If you'd like a tarot reading of any kind or also a remote healing session from me, please know I work anywhere where you are. So in that I work remotely. I am a master healer, so feel free to check out the description box below to see if any of the information on how to book or how to inquire interests you. As well as know that these readings for this channel may resonate with you more if you're here for your sign in sun, rising, and or Jupiter position. However, if you're here for inquisitions of moon energies or something similar to that, you may not find to be very like impacted, let's put it that way. All right, you might still be seeking some emotional redemption, let's call it that way. So if you're looking for something like that, please check out my second channel. I am working as quickly as ether energy allows me to provide this one lady show that I have going on in streamlining these two separate channels for specific niches of energy specifically, just to get like the message clear. All right, so with that being said, if you're interested in any of those energies of moon regarding that emotional redemption, the second channel may be of your interest. More content is to come, so still feel free to subscribe if you're not intrigued by the material that is there already. Something to note, all right? No pressure. All right. So sun, rising, and or Jupiter position of Virgo. Love variant means as complex as it could, all right? And whatever wants to come up within a reading will come up within a reading. It is collective nonetheless, so please take the energies as they may seem fit. Using your discernment, feminine and masculine energies may resonate with anyone, including yourself, for energies are non-gender specific. All right, love variant for Virgo. Someone is interested in heightening up their awareness or knowledge when it comes to numerology, feeling inspired by vibrational frequencies and wanting to understand rhyme and rhythm of how you can connect to your ancestors here. I'm seeing some rituals happen, some burning of some items, writing things down and cleansing them via some cycles, allowing the energies to at least sit for at least, I'm hearing 25 days, all right? So rituals are prominent in working, however spells do not. It is not something I'm going to go into detail here. I have no reason to, for I'm here to trigger just as energies of that which it is you already vibrate on. Keep that in mind, Virgo. Virgo, you have a high sense of responsibility even tied to the knowingness of ether vibration, because the hymn that's bouncing in the background noise here, the siren that you hear, or the vibrations that you might feel in spurts of where you are, those are your energies being really loud, okay? You're stuck to the earth with like this sticky yet also majestic gooiness to it, all right? It's like, it's very silky, it's very precious, it's annoying in that you don't understand it, but it is powerful in the fact that you are not threatened by it, all right? So you are being reintroduced to the potentials of who you are, so that way you understand that the love variance of ways of who you are is the exact way of how everything should be. What makes it very difficult is the passing of time. If you look closer, you can almost see a little bit of a ellipsis going on here, right? Dot, 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 a focus, a focus, a focus. So there's lots of patience, lots of beating, lots of drumming, lots of reminding, needing to dance your physical chronic pains away, needing to listen, strap on some headphones, and really get jiggy with it with your with your vibration, feeling your body really release stress through every stretch, every breath, okay? Yeah, every stretch, every breath here, learning how to love yourself. Learning how to love yourself is very important for ether for you especially, to understand what that means, because you struggle very, very much so in the mental space. And then when you struggle in the mental space, you have no idea what the fuck is going on with the transformational processes of your heart. So it's important for you to cleanse yourself very often, so that way you get a better understanding of who you are here. Daughter of Swords, the innocence, vulnerability I'm picking up of self. Hold on, give me 1 second. Let me get this. Come on. It's a little antsy. It's kind of like that energy appeal here. Lots of things are attracting to you right now. This time, it's like you may find that energies that you share the room with that really love you won't be able to sit still once you sit down. All right, like your energy is very loud, very vivacious. It's a very, someone wants to come and work for you energy, wants to surrender to your energy and be in your aura and your presence. But they need a little bit of guidance and a little bit of acknowledgement, and you're really good intuitively to pick that up, and without you really knowing it, you're appeasing everyone in your ether and kind of channeling a potent energy in taking the room, Virgo, with your presence, that those beings, dogs, cats, animals, or high vibrational beings will pick up your presence and really want to mesh and jibe with you. All right, it will make you feel a little bit predatorial because you don't understand what it is that you're getting, because their service attributes of characters are developing here, where people want to be of service to you, which is very strange. That's what I'm saying. It seems very predatorial for you to feel this situation happen, because it's foreign to you. You're usually the person that is the one servicing others. So it's a very strange vulnerability being put onto you right now because of that power of the sun. That power of the sun is very strong in making shit, I mean, one glorious when you're in it, right? I mean, you get some nice luscious tan skin, or you feel a little higher vibrationally, but also physically it could be very exhausting. For those with chronic ailments, it can be even more exhausting. So it's just very problematic, almost being very sensitive, as the ether may like to use in societal conversation, but it's not sensitivity, it's being able to be very in tune with your all self. And being in tune with your all self is very chaotic, like all this background noise if you're hearing, and really trying to understand the wisdom by just not getting distracted by noises and all this types of cunning narratives of possible distractions in order to get convoluted and distracted with the message, right? And not listening out to the messenger anymore. So there's so many varying degrees to kind of like pull back a little bit, sit down, then brace yourself in sitting down, taking a breath, then brace yourself sitting down, taking a breath, and then taking the conscious one. It's like there's multiple levels of taking a moment with yourself and really like dialing it back for you, Virgo. All right, and that means slowing down the brain, your mental activity. Although it might not be very loud at this moment of the card resemblance here, I feel the energy because you're being galactically pushed in the ether of your mind to be a more vivacious person of who you are. That's coming through the power of the sun here. Okay. All right, so protecting that of which it is you want to call yourself is tied to the Four of Pentacles here because it's wanting to protect an essence of yourself, and that essence will nourish itself and flourishing itself with potentials. Here with the Eight of Pentacles underneath the Ten of Pentacles here. Whatever you plan on here, that's the pain coming through, the mental pain, heart pain, the Three of Swords here. Whatever pain that was there is being, again, focused on, but it's being wrapped, it's being bound, it's being tied the fuck up, so that way you have a better handle at the overall possible weight of it. So that way when time passes, you realize that the passing of time, holding on to that anchorage of sand, like the sandbag, is just going to weigh you down vibrationally. And every chance you get to reflect emotionally on this pattern, but bringing no light of consciousness towards to wanting to heal, is going to keep bringing up itself like sawdust and crease itself in crevices of your mind and make you feel like an unpolished, untuned mechanical robot, because you're not as fluid as you'd like to be. With that being said, there is some dried up shit that needs to be discussed, meaning there are things that you need to bring emotion to. There are things that you've covered up for so long that you have suppressed emotions, suppressed the possible ideology of not being able to cry on a subject matter that maybe once made you so vulnerable to the tears that were like easy to come across. But now the same subject matter, it's like you've hardened over time. And it doesn't mean that you don't have the same pain. If anything, it means that the pain has grown more. But the way that the pain has grown and revolutionized itself is the ability to turn into something different. And that difference is what is really important for you to look at and appreciate about yourself, Virgo, even if it is a bitter taste in the mouth of bringing words to that are not necessarily easily say or even hear come back into your own ears of having said it, or hearing people, seeing people react with the things that you really want to say bluntly. It is okay to say things without feeling penalty that those around you will pull their own mini justice card and penalize you in some sort of institutionalized thinking or control or environment because you're not allowed to express yourself. We have come into the arising of, again, being in an atmosphere of humanity bringing that cloak of sadness and fear over us, but we will not allow us to critically look at that as an even possibility to ourselves, because we always understand the reincarnation of time and evolution means that we're just going to go running at it again full throttle, no matter when we share the time space of that type of blasphemy. Okay, so time and space is no linear factoring to how beautifully galactic light is passing through you right now. Whatever it is that you seem to understand is the best to your abilities, and you should be proud of it. However you want to moving forward in likeness to your shadows is muy importante, okay? I am not Spanish, but it's coming out that way. It is very fucking important to tie in your shadows, Virgo, all right? You have a poignant responsibility that I cannot put into words, and especially will not put into words if you're still too enthralled in the narrative of astrology, playing a say-so to figuring out who you are. Right. Mother tongue, huh? Mother tongue. The Fool and the Ace of Swords. Virgo, like I said, you have a responsibility, and that responsibility is non-binary to what it's supposed to look like. You are what it's supposed to look like, so be what it is that you want to be. That is as simple as can get, and there's nothing outside of you that can validate the inner workings of what is to come from you. Please understand that message. You're just not wanting to mesh up today. There's a sadness overrunning the room, Virgo. It is your sadness, Virgo. It is too loud because I can smell it and reek it and feel it over here. Alright, I can feel it. And that sadness is your power. The only way I can make that ring true in the philosophies of that resonating with you, if it does, is to sit with that fear and ask how you can become its best friend. Because as you realize you become its best friend, you, the mature, wise fucking Virgo, will have already known what it's like to discipline that fear. This isn't a message for everyone, Virgo. So I'm not worried about those people that I trigger that dance in the shadows and think that in the shadows they will never get blasted with justice. Justice will come, but we're talking in the form of being in light. And Virgo, you are like a daywalker, all right? You are a very powerful being capable of coming across as the most vivacious, glowing motherfucker, but be the one to commit the biggest sins. If you paid attention to the narrative not too long ago about Virgo energy is about, like, you know, oh my god, cheating Virgo this, narcissistic Virgo that, blah, 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 blah. And I've told you time and time again in my Virgo readings, Virgo, if you're a returning listener, that it is important to listen out to that narrative and use that form as a resistance. And that resistance is to teach you that if the narrative is going to contradictory to what your beliefs are, it is imperative to ask the question as to why. And then you have resistance in the eye by looking it eye to eye and then standing face to face with affliction. You do it best because you're very self-analytical, more so than any other sign. The one that comes close is Gemini energy, but the flip-floppiness from going one angle to the other angle is forgetting how to get from what it took to get from point A to point B. They just show up at A and then they show up at B. But the point of forgetting sometimes happens for that energy, and it's counterproductive and fickle for those who it then affects emotionally. So, you know, like I said, there's an energy of chaos to the mind, and showing up here with my deck, the Nine of Swords, the hazardous energies of not knowing exactly who it is you are, very down to the very makings of feminine, masculine energy. Whether you're in that sensitive stage of hormonal changes or medical changes or pharmaceutical changes, it's all okay. It is a narrative that is okay because it is a reality that has been perpetuated for you to experience. Whether you want to put blame on yourself and others defeats the narrative of it happening regardless. It's about finding a niche to a cause, and if that cause means change and you want change for you subtly seek it, then it's okay to take that risk factor with a Fool energy and resurrect yourself into that possibility. It's a very, very fucking deep reading here, Virgo. All right. Very much Earth energy with the Knight of Pentacles here and the Three of Pentacles. Like I said, the sawdust here. The sawdust is the pixelated shit that can come through hard times. But that appreciation is knowing that it transforms what something former can transform into something new. And if that former you didn't like and that newness you actually now appreciate, you're appreciating the same thing. Just you either were there for the transformational process, or you missed it, or you were in the absence of it, and now are represented with something like a wow factor. This also speaks a little bit. I'm hearing of Kundalini effect, so somebody's light returning back to you, and that wow factor being like that hazardous affliction of like, oh shit, okay, well, I knew I wasn't always normal, but the normalness I also never wanted to be, because I was trying so hard to be on the spectrum of normal, because all I'm here trying to do is figure out love. and the various degrees of how love is either absent or present in my life, and how much I can love myself. And Virgo is known to be the sign of neurotically wanting to check out those self-transformation books to reanalyze and rehash themselves to such a neurotic point that they get away with murder. Quite honestly, they get away with murder because their flow of emotional wisdom that he can carry and having a very mature conversation on surface level with someone is enough for someone to walk away from Virgo energy and never look back and question them for who they are, because they're smitten or enthralled or bemused, and Virgo is actually maybe suffering in silence, and that person is too in wow factor of Virgo, and silently on a negative, unhealed aspects of Virgo, it can really tarnish Virgo energy in their private lives. So hence why in the private lives and private sectors, Virgo is a completely different fucking animal than out on the streets, let's for example. All right, we're in the streets, reflecting everybody themselves on Virgo energy is blaspheming Virgo as narcissists or psychopaths or sociopaths or whatever. It's all not a wrong narrative, but when it comes to the privatization, it shouldn't hold factoring of a quote-unquote positive fact check that of not possible false information, because everyone will miss a Virgo energy's genuine love. And the pain that they experience from no longer being around Virgo energy is a personal one, not one that Virgo put upon anyone. Unless Virgo even put hands on someone, then that's a bit. Now we're talking about something so dark here. We're not even talking about that, because again, we're not talking in those energies of emotional redemption. Keep that in mind. So these messages may resonate, but as far as getting emotional redemption, you still won't necessarily seek that here. Or you may seek that here and may not find it here, more or less, should I put it that way. Ace of Truths, Ace of Swords is found here. All right, where the establishment of needing to put things together for all the facets of that you are and making them sense for who you are, and allowing yourself to emanate and glow and illuminate in that luminescence. Okay. Seven of Wands, the integrity of within. Okay. Needing to understand ego and how the ego shapes the essence of that of which you have to protect, while also knowing that the ego is out there doing its most work, and the biggest work here to keep everything intact, including your soul. We have Five of Wands, the Moon, Queen of Wands, and Ten of Wands. I mean, where we look for reason, we can find faults. And when we show up to the fault lines, we experience that, life has massive ups and downs. And sometimes they come with people, and most often the times those experiences attached to those people come with it. There's a lot of drama in the ether with you right now, because the fight of redemption, of anarchy in subtle ways with you is very high and navigated very linearly forward. It's your way on the highway to a very big degree, but also has some degree here of conformity and compromise. And that compromise is gifted with the flow of the blessing of, we are saying, the Sun card came in the beginning of the reading saying, oh, you're in the glow of it right now, Virgo. All right, the way you're in work mode, the way you're in self mode, the way you're in understanding the continuous shit that can still happen is very important for you to never lose face of, because it's not the point to continuously being disrupted with what you think are dead ends, Virgo. It's for you to remember that you just need to exist, Virgo, because you are literally the crystal that people wish to be around. Remember that energy in the beginning of the reading. you are attracting energies to you. If there are energies that you walk with and amongst that you call upon to validate your ethereal experience here on Earth timeline, then you should find it maybe important to also know that any negative shit that comes in your life is also maybe to protect you. So figuring that out, walking that walk, is all the various degrees we understand on a deep level. We need to have a better relationship with the terminology of love, because love isn't necessarily an emotional connection. Love doesn't mean control. Love is a sharing of an existence with people, and an existence can be shared without sharing the same time and space with individuals. Remember that. And when you tap into that feeling and you resonate with that, I think you go back into remembering something, Virgo, for yourself that makes something of value come forth from this reading that you can take with you as you then leave the reading behind. Subtle is not your forte, Virgo, all right? You are very good at being very poised, very well-mannered. You blend in beautifully at times with society. And then when you don't give a fuck, you know how to stand out and just look so damn good in doing so. Virgo, Virgo. You don't even be knowing, all right? Because you're so analytical, and that analytical process usually means other people rent out space in your mind, and it's really not fair to how luscious Virgo energy can truly be when Virgo vibrates in its luscious energy, okay? It's absolutely stunning. It's beautiful to read for Virgo energy because, well, biased or unbiased, I don't give a flying fuck. Virgo energy is galactic, and that galactic power of reason that can come forth in sharing a vibrational tongue, and anyone that can speak galactic is knowing how to speak of the Mother Earth, of that which it is that we speak through. It is best to always respect Mother, and those who respect Mother will also know how to speak on disciplining Mother and still respect her in her name. So you're learning that as you walk by respecting yourself, because ultimately to be a child of a mother is to know that you may have a mother or a non-mother and still realize that you're going to need to learn to how to dance in the offspring of potentially being a son or a daughter to an entity that has the mother of being of you attached to your mind. The mind governs you, and it's best for you to control the narrative of your mind, no matter how much other people have created or participated in your life to create a version of you. You are not you without you. Intuition of Mother, all right, cannot be said about it much, so it's very beautiful. I appreciate Ether for coming through with this picture here at this time instead of the Temperance energy, because we need your ego to see this card. Follow your intuition, Virgo, all right? The world is in your hands. All the dimensions of your beings lies in the power of your hands, the outer extremities of which it is you work with the most. That means even if you have no hands, you got some powerful outer extremities. Make it count for yourself, and then you will have understood the assignment. And once you have understood the assignment, you will show up to the occasion, Virgo. All right. There are people amongst you, like I said, that when you enter the room, they're willing to show up and work for you. Allow it to happen, even if it makes you uncomfortable. You're learning how to be the future leader of who you are now. You're learning how to be the future leader of who you are now. Dun, 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 dun. You get up to readings to be contradictory, huh? No. Emotions. Don't be swayed by emotions, Virgo. I read the energies as I deem them to be necessary to read. Your inner child, by the way, doesn't really give a shit about your emotions. And the way you talk about your emotions isn't going to address inner child issues. Getting someone to listen to your narrative is a little different than just talking about your narrative. Yeah. Don't be swallowed up in your own emotions, Virgo. The Strength card here. 7 of Cups is the energy of being too wishy-washy with your own emotions, overthinking them, wanting to persuade, again, humanity and people around you into being of servitude for you. This is very specific because there's some dark energies in this fucking room here, all right? Not in my physical presence of the room, but in the connection of this reading, because there are a lot of energies attracted to wanting to be a good Virgo. Yet they're not even showing up to the rising of the occasion, what it means to be one uncrystal consciousness of consciousness, and be able to also tame thy demons of shadows. All right, so take that message very specifically, because it will only reach those specificities, specific people. Anyway, my inner child doesn't want to show up and brutalize people, so we like to have a little bit of fun and not being able to talk very clearly. Stuttering is part of the issue sometimes, because we sometimes feel so much overwhelmed here with the 9 of Swords energy that getting in your own way is sometimes also being convoluted by too much power. Okay, too much power. Anyone who's been dabbling with any Reiki practitioner understands that once the Reiki practitioner master has attuned you to the ceremonial understandings of Reiki principles, for the next 7 days or 3 weeks, you may be very sensitive to the static connectivity that you have with your surroundings. So imagine living in a reality where you are not aware of that. So where is all that energy going? It has to affect you somehow. So some of you are continuously going on narrative of continuous war and patriarchy that is not fair to the overall existence of feminine and masculine energy of what it is that you want for the future. So hence why you're trying to prepare for yourself for the future leader that you are now, because you need some refinement. At the same time, you are also very much a leader. Some of you are very prestigious in your roles, and you are kind of taking tarot and feeding your inner child at a timeline where you are very much also an adult at the same time. So a bit split personality I'm getting here too, because it's splitting you in multi-dimensional ways of existence that is really tiring you out here. All right, so keep that in mind, Virgo. Empathy. I'm open to seeing both sides of a situation. Service, I feel good when I can help others. Spoke on that energy earlier. Balance, I bring a state of perfect harmony into my world, and I do so without judgment. Interesting. Fascinating. All right, well, Virgo. The varying degrees of how energies show up is really seclusive to the reading at hand. I appreciate for those of you who stayed to the entirety of the reading. If you, again, would like any of my services, feel free to check out that description box below. I look forward to making your acquaintance, and I'm wishing you a wonderful morning, noon, or night, wherever you are in the ether of this time and space. May you keep flowing, growing, and glowing. Take care.